And now to help us break down the final election results, please welcome Davidi Hermelin, the president of the International Center for Public Diplomacy in Israel, and Rabbi Dov Lipman, former Knesset member of the Yesh Atid party. Thank you both very much for coming in today.
Good to be here.
All right, so first of all, are you guys happy with the results so far? Are you excited about what's been going down?
What do you think?
I'm gonna let you play it close to the vest.
I'm fascinated by it. I'll say it that way. I think it's fascinating to see that Netanyahu went to these elections with a hope of receiving a mandate despite the legal cloud that he's in, and he has emerged with that beyond anything that he could have imagined. So that's fascinating to see Sderot, people who are under fire from Gaza, coming out 44% for Netanyahu. You see he's a master politician. You see he has succeeded in people seeing that he's responsible for the success of Israel. We're not debating yes or no, but that's an incredible result.
Well, so I actually want to let's kind of disassemble that a little bit. Let's take the South that is embattled, that has been having a rain fire of rockets for years and years and years. What was the alternative really to a right-wing government for them? Because if they were to vote left, I mean theoretically you would have to have Meretz and all sorts of left-wing parties that are very much against strong action in the Palestinian territories. So is it even really that surprising that they voted left? That they voted for the right?
Well, for years they've been frustrated with the prime minister, but you see that at the end of the day, they don't see any other path forward and no other solution.
I think that the point is that the voters, not only in the South, but in the entire country, but especially in the South, they remember that they don't want a second disengagement, and they remember who did this to them, and they also remember who who did the Oslo Accords. And I think that as long as we have this kind of challenges with the Palestinian society, the public of Israel will not forgive the damages of the policy of the left and will continue to vote to the right. And with all due respect...
And we're seeing that actually, because the younger voters overwhelmingly voted right-wing this year.
And we see that with all due respect and the big headlines, the security in Israel and in the South is much better during the last few years compared to any period that people can remember in the last generation. So Mr. Netanyahu is Mr. Security, Mr. Defense, and Mr. de facto peace.
All right, so speaking of peace and security and all these other things, what are some of the other major points of contention that you think voters were really centering around that they were keeping as their priority when they headed to the polls?
There's no doubt that to add to the list to Netanyahu as Mr. Diplomacy. Look at what's happened over the last few weeks and months, and voters say we cannot imagine anyone else. Golan Heights recognition, they see all the parade of leaders that are coming here. They saw the successful return of a soldier who's been missing for 37 years, the relationship with the White House, relationship with Putin, just all around the world, and people did not see anyone else. There was there was a massive
To be fair, only Netanyahu has been, foreign minister and prime minister for the last
No, that is true, but they don't see anyone else
years
as capable of doing it. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's another issue which people saw. You did not hear so much discussion about economy, about religion and state. Those are concerns for people. But overall, they see a country which is flourishing and overall doing well and people that are happy. And people say, if it's not broken, why play with that?
I think that the key word of the last elections is integration. The Orthodox public, I mean the Zionist one, integrated itself within the Likud party, and they said, we are not sector anymore. We are a legitimate part of the Israeli politics as equals, and we don't need a specific party.
Well, were they not before?
We had the Beit Yehudi, the Jewish home. We represent you. So right now they have 4 seats, but this kind of party. But the voters, I think, also during the last election, but especially now, they said we vote for Likud. The second process, and I think that we have the first station now, and in the next elections we will have a second station of this process. The Arab voters didn't come to vote, I think, because they had enough of their so-called representatives. I think that this time they didn't vote. Next time you will see more and more voters vote not only for Meretz, but also for Labor, for Likud party as conservative public.
Well, so actually, I want to talk about the Arab voters as well. That was kind of my next question. We saw roughly 50% voter turnout amongst Arab Israelis. Many of them said that they were boycotting the vote outright. Many more complained of voter intimidation, with the hidden camera scandal right now that's ongoing that was just uncovered recently. But going back to the boycott specifically, because with representation, a lot of the argument for the boycott was that they don't have proper representation. That Hadash-Ta'al and Ram Balad are more concerned about the Palestinians than they are for Arab Israelis, and so. But that begs the question then, why didn't they go out and vote? Why didn't they start a new representation?
So I'll just finish my answer before, with your permission. I think that, exactly as you said, they don't feel that Mr. Tibi or Balad or the Communist Party, that they represent them anymore.
But
and
then
they
why
voted
didn't they vote?
Because they have that's what I said.
But then why? But Hadash-Ta'al and Ram Balad were around before.
I'm trying to answer.
Sure.
They didn't vote this time as first station, because you don't make the entire process in one time. This time they didn't vote and voted in very high percentage to Meretz. And next time we will see more votes for Labour Party and for Likud, because the Likud Party, as conservative party, is closer to the Arab public compared to any other party that, in the political map. And the process that we see now, if I will finish the idea, my idea of before, is that the publics from all the sides of the political maps gathering themselves to a so-called kind of Israeli Democratic Party and Israeli Republican Party. And I hope that the bar next time will be higher than 3.25%, maybe 5%, like in Germany. Okay. And we will encourage two stable parties, and the stability of the country will be the result.
In speaking with Israeli Arabs on the moderate side, they are frustrated with the Arab parties, but they have not yet found their home in other parties. What I think you're going to see right now, especially with the emergence of two major blocs, which is a wonderful thing for Israeli politics, and hopefully will continue that way, they are going to start reaching out to Arab voters as well. I've spoken to a few people already in some of the larger parties. They've also even said it publicly, that they do intend at this point, now that they realize that Arabs are looking for other parties to possibly find a home, they will actually reach out to them. That will be a wonderful thing, both for Israeli Arabs, but for Israeli society as a whole, that the major parties are actually working towards the minority populations as well.
All right, well, I strongly hope for more inclusion and less segregation and more integration within Israeli society. A homogenous society makes us stronger. Gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.